So this is our 325G. It's a 9,500 pound machine with 74 horsepower. It's coming right under the need for def. And we're going to start right here at the front track. If you look down, you'll see that there is a plate here. You take these 2 bolts off, you remove that, and it will allow you to add a grease bit to it, and you can add tension to the tracks. There's a way to check on how tight and how much slack you should have in the tracks. You should refer to your operator's manual on the back side of the seat on the inside of the cab. And if you want to look down here, you can also see that there is a lot of plating, and on competitors' models, you're going to see where there's hydraulic hoses and other things that are exposed right here. And when a lot of dirt builds up, you're going to have a guy trying to clean this out with a shovel, and instead of hitting hydraulic hoses and be worried about anything like that, it's all protected and everything's going to be taken care of. You want to make sure that you're cleaning out down below these sprockets here, and you're not having any real wear and tear on this and any resistance on your final drives. Going off of that, the 325 and up is going to have a final drive that looks similar to this, and it has a first 50-hour service. It's your first service of the machine. All you have to do is take 2 sample tubes, 1 for each final drive, take a sample of oil out of it, turn that into your service department, and then you'll be good to go, and your warranty will be staying, you'll be in your warranty claim. So I already took these panels off. They are really easy to take on and off, and when you're doing a demo or a walk around for a customer, it's a great thing to just show them the ease and simplicity of putting these panels on. Right now, the boom is up, and it makes it really easy to take the panels on and off, but what you can do is you can lower the boom and still remove the panels and be able to get to anything. But with it open, with everything as it is, you can just see how accessible, how easy it is to service. You can get to your battery. Some other competitors, you cannot get to your battery as easy. You have your fuel filter here. You have your hydraulic oil filter here. You have your reservoir here. You have your oil dipstick and your oil fill. And then you have your fuel fill. What you can notice is that everything is color coded. And if you look at some other models on other competitors, on the back side, it's going to look all one color, look like just a blanket of one. People get confused. They may put def, they may put fuel in the wrong place. You don't know. This makes it very nice. Deere has done a good job of color coding and tethering off this cap here to make sure there's no issues in the future. So this machine has built-in tie-down points, which is really nice because not all models have these tie-down points. You're going to have them on the front and on the back at all corners. And as you can see, you also have bolt holes here, which allow for counterweights to be put on. So some other competitors are not going to have the ability to put on counterweights. These machines are made for lifting. So when you go to lift, and you can raise 6,500 pounds up to the top of the cab on this 325. If you're ever getting any kind of tilt or any uneasiness in the seat, you can add up to 3 sets of counterweights on these 325s. Something else you should be aware of is that we can get these machines with wide tracks and narrow tracks. It makes a difference on which attachments you need and maybe a few other things on parts and maintenance in the future. Check your serial number before you send a machine out. Make sure you're checking your codes and order codes to make sure that machine's right. So if you look right here, you can see that our hydraulic lines are ran inside of the boom, very well protected. They have these socks on them, and there's not a lot of opportunity there for any damage or anything to grab a hold to them. It runs all the way through the boom and out to the front. What you can see on some competitors is that they just put all of the hydraulic lines on top of the boom, and it just allows for potential for damage, easy to get hung on something, and that's not as clean of a nice of a fit as this. You can tell Deere took the time and saw what they had to do and where they needed to run the lines, and it's a nice feature to have. When you're doing a walk around after I've made it all the way around the machine and made it back to this front corner, I like to put the customer in the cab and stand right here and talk with them with the window open. And do that because when you look in the top right corner of a John Deere skid steer, you have most of your buttons for the day-to-day that you're going to use. There's not a whole bunch of buttons all over the place in the cab. They've put them right together. And so when you're talking to your customer, you can see and he has everything together, and it makes for a very nice demo inside the cab. And if you ever have a problem or if your customer has an issue and cannot figure out what a button does, what a joystick does, or what it may be, inside the cab there are stickers placed everywhere, all around you, showing you breakdowns of what your joysticks do, what each button does, and how to activate them. That's your 325 in a nutshell. Please, for any more details or questions, contact your local James River Equipment dealer.